It feels like every couple of years Indonesia grabs headlines, but this time the energy just feels different. I mean, who thought a bill about the Constitutional Court would set off such a firestorm?
It's wild, right? But honestly, it's less about just one bill and more about a whole pileup of frustrations. People are fed up with creeping authoritarian vibes, and when the president who once promised big reforms starts cozying up to the old guard, it's like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline.
I keep thinking about those student marches in Jakarta. One minute they're holding up witty protest signs. Next minute it's riot police and tear gas. Even cities like Yogyakarta and Medan have jumped in. It's spreading way beyond the capital.
Totally. And it's not just the big cities. If you look at Papua, for instance, people there have been simmering for years, military crackdowns, demands for autonomy, all of it coming to a head now. The bill just gave everyone a focal point.
That actually makes me wonder how different voices are shaping the conversation. Is the media getting this complexity across, or are we missing the bigger picture?
What jumped out at me is how split the coverage island. Some outlets like Tempo, Kompas, they're really digging deep, talking to activists, unpacking the legal stuff. But then there are channels that just seem hesitant, maybe even a little nervous to poke the bear.
I've noticed that too. And then international outlets swoop in, and everything's about China, the US geopolitics. Like, sure, that matters. But it kind of steamrolls the actual stories from the ground, doesn't it?
Exactly. And that's where social media is both a lifeline and a war zone. Hashtags like Reformasi di Korupsi take off overnight, but folks posting under them aren't just risking trolls, they're worried about surveillance or even getting tracked down.
Feels like the real reporting is happening in the margins. Citizen journalists, independent voices, people with a phone camera, and a lot of guts. But man, they're facing a ton of pushback. Actually, that reminds me, how does this kind of digital activism shape what outsiders see?
Honestly, the internet's cracked open space for rapid-fire activism. But every viral video or trending hashtag brings more eyes, and sometimes that means government censors or even cyber attacks. It's a risky balancing act.
Last week, we got stuck on a live feed from a protest in Medan. One minute it's there, next minute the stream cuts out. It's almost like you can feel the push and pull between people trying to get the truth out and forces trying to shut it down.
Yeah, and it's not just about blocking information. There's harassment, digital smear campaigns, and sometimes real-world consequences. Still, there's something electric about seeing youth and indigenous voices push through those barriers.
It kind of gives me hope and reminds me how protests are way more than slogans and street marches. There's a deeper fight about who controls the story and who gets heard, which actually connects to something I've noticed in other countries too.
You know, there's almost an eerie parallel with places like Bangladesh student-led movements, reforms that backfire, that relentless tug-of-war over civic space. Makes you wonder how fragile democracy can really be.
Absolutely. And behind every dramatic headline, there's a student risking arrest, a journalist dodging threats, or a whole community standing its ground. It's easy to gloss over the courage it takes just to speak up, or even just to film what's actually happening.
That's why conversations like this matter. If we only see the big power plays, we miss the quieter stories, those voices that get lost in the noise. Staying curious, staying connected, that's how we get a fuller picture.
And hey, if this episode got you thinking, or if there's something you wish we'd dig into next, let us know. We're here for the tangled, messy, human side of the news. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share your thoughts.